Hey everybody, this is Tom again in Western North Carolina. Anyways, I've got my chair finished, or the chair we've been making finished, and I'm going to show you how I put a fiber rush seat in the chair. This fiber rush, here's the fiber rush. I've got myself a hank of it, or whatever you want to call it, off of the roll. It's 5/32. That's how you measure this stuff, in 30 seconds of an inch. This is 5/32. The tools I'm going to be using today are a spring clamp, pair of scissors, some string, and the string is twisted mason line, and it says it's number 18. I don't know what exactly that means, but I know that this is smaller. It's small size, small in diameter mason twine. And then I've also got a block of wood that has reasonably sharp corners on it. This is a piece of hard wood, so it stays, and you'll see how I use it. But anyways, this is how I start this seat weaving. And anyways, I think this is probably going to be about a 3-part video, because I'm going to show you the beginning, the middle, and then the end of the seat weaving. So I'm just going to let this probably be about a 20-minute video, and hopefully you'll get enough information out of it. So anyways, I'm going to take this here string, I'm calling this string whatever you want to call it. And anyways, I got this fiber rush from a place called American Twisting. It's up somewhere around Detroit somewhere. But anyways, you notice I put it around this frame front. And then I'm going to tie a bowline knot in it. And I'm going to try to get the knot right where this little notch of the airfoil is. I think it's going to be right about there. And it doesn't matter that much where this knot is. But if you get it in this little notch here, if you have it underneath here somewhere, it makes kind of a lump. And if you have it here, it kind of hides itself. So anyways, make sure that knot is tight. And this particular chair, I feel like I need to start at this corner, because if you don't, I used to always start, if I had a regular chair without this frame front, I'd start it back here and work my way around. At the very first wrap, because of the way this frame front is right here, that first wrap does not do good right at this particular corner right here. And so if I start with this loop here, it works out a lot better. It works out perfectly fine, as a matter of fact. So anyways, fiber rush, basically go over top of the rung and come up on the inside, and then go over top of this rung and come up on the inside, over top of this rung over here, up on the inside. And when you come up on the inside, you always come up, inside of the piece you've already done. I'm going over top of the front, up on the inside, over top of this rung, up on the inside, over top of this rung, up on the inside, over top of this rung, up on the inside. And I have found that it's very helpful if you keep this coil or whatever you want to call it neat. If you let it get out of control, you're going to have trouble. But anyway, so now that I've got that done, I've gone around 4 posts, what I call going around 4 posts. I start to actually make this tight. I went around there, pulling it tight, pulling it tight. See right there, I'm holding it with my index finger. I call that fretting it. Just like you're playing a guitar or a banjo or something. I'm holding that string there. I'm always holding it tight. I'm manipulating that inside corner there. It's hard to describe that, but I've got it tight. Turning that corner right there. Pulling it tight. See, I'm just pulling it tight with my fingers. I don't have that chair clamped down or anything. I'm levering against my hand right there. And so there, I've gone all the way around. And now I've got to do something else, so I'm going to clamp that with my spring clamp. I can let go now. Anyways, one of the things, I'm going to clip this big long end off of here right now. With these chairs, is they're wider in the front than they are in the back, and it's like, how are you going to deal with that? And on Fiber Rush, especially with this pattern, if you don't do anything, you have to fix it right now. If you don't, if you just kept doing like I just did, when you got to the end, you'd have a gap right here in the middle and there'd be no way to fix it. So you have to add wraps to the front and not add to the back. And how I do that is I take my little mason twine and I measure about this distance from the back to the front right there. And I always cut 2 at a time because I know I'm going to have to do a second one. And I take that string and I put it right down there and I put it around that back rung, and then right here I get this inside of it right there, and then I tie a knot in this, and I think it's just an overhand knot. You can tie any kind of knot you want just as long as it'll hold, but test your knot, make sure it's not going to just pull out. So anyways, now I've got that hook there around that back rung. I'm going to go back around across the front, but I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to weave it backwards because it has to look exactly the same as if I was going straight, but I'm going backwards, so I have to weave it opposite. So I'm going under, and instead of coming up on the inside, I'm going to go through inside of this one right here. I'm going inside of that one. And then this one I just came from, I'm going inside of that one. And then I'm going under this one. And then I'm going inside of it. And then I'm going inside of this one. Okay? Going around the front backwards. And so now, here's another tool I'm going to use, a pair of needle nose pliers. And what I do is I get hold of that loop with that needle nose pliers and pull that tight. And then I pull this strand here tight. Get it right there like that. And now I'm going to go back around. I'm going to weave this across the front, backwards. And this fiber rush, if you're going to do this seat like this, and the guy just said this to me just the other day, and he called this the envelope style because it ends up looking like an envelope, the back of an envelope, the way they're folded. But anyways, one of the keys to making it look good is manipulating these inside corners that go out here. You want them to be really, really neat. So remember, I cut 2 pieces of string. This side I can just go around like that. And one of the reasons that I use the small string is because I want it to hide good. I don't want you to be able to see it unless you really, really look for it. So there, I got another loop. See, I've got a loop right there, holding that right there. So now I'm going to go back around the regular way. Over, up in the middle, over, up in the middle, over, up in the middle, up in the middle, over, up in the middle, up in the middle. And I want to hang that up right there. I generally just go around 3 posts at a time. Now I got my needle nose pliers again. Pull that tight. Oh, lost my clamp. But right there, that corner, right, that I just worked, it's hard for you to see it. I'm sure, but right there, I'm manipulating that corner and that inside corner and making it lay right and everything. Like I say, it's hard for me to explain exactly what I'm doing to it, but I'm adjusting and fiddling around with it a little bit. Okay, there, I made it to there. And so I've gone back around that front. You know, I went backwards and forwards around that front. And I need to do it enough times until the measurement between these two, between here and here, are equal. So I know that I'm going to have to do that about 4 times. But I don't do all of them right on top of each other. I go around, like I'm doing right now, I go around to hide those strings. I don't want 4 of those strings piled up on each other. I do a string like I just put in, and then I go around, and then I'll do another string. I'm pulling these tight. I'm keeping them tight. And I'm trying to do that corner good. So I got all 5 of my chairs put together this morning that I've been working on while I've been making these videos. This is the second one of the chairs that I've gotten done. I already cut all my strings, so you guys didn't have to wait for me to cut the strings. So anyways, I've come around. I'm not going to measure because I know the measurements aren't equal yet. I'm tying my knot, making my loop. Checking my knot. Okay, now I'm going to go around the front, but I'm going to weave it backwards. I'm going under, and then this piece here, I'm going inside of this piece, through there. Now this piece here, I'm going through there. I'm going under. And I'm going inside, or I don't know if you call it inside, but I'm going between this piece and the here. And then I'm going through, right through there. There's my pliers. I'm pulling my pliers tight, tightening that loop, and then I'm pulling this piece of fiber rush tight with this hand. Alright. Okay, got another string. Just go around this like this. Our time is almost up. I don't want this to be much more than 20 minutes, but I guess I can go 25. Make sure you're not holding. Now when you start back this way, you go the regular weave. Over, up in the middle. Up in the middle. Up in the middle. Up in the middle. Okay, I'm pulling that loop tight. Pulling tight. Now, traditionally, fiber rush seats, this part that I'm doing right now with these strings is done by just putting in a series of short pieces that just go across the front. And what you do is you just tack a piece in here or on the bottom, you tack a piece and you go around the front, do this corner, and then you tack it over on this side. And then you do it again, and then you do it again, and you do it until the distance right here between these two, whatever that is, you do that until it equals the distance back here between these posts. And then after you've done that, you just start weaving like I'm weaving now. But I just don't want to do it like that. I don't want to put a bunch of tacks in this chair. I just made this chair. It's a nice chair. I don't want to put a bunch of tacks in it. They just rust out. And if you ever get a chair, have an old chair with a fiber rush seat in it, one of the ways that they end the seat is to put a tack in the last strand. It's usually right here or right here. They put a tack in it to hold it. And quite often that spot where that tack is in there is where the seat will initially fail, because that's a weak spot. You poked a hole in it, and this is just paper. And anyways, But anyways, I just don't want to put a bunch of tacks in my brand new chair. And so I do it like this. Where's my clamp? Look, there's my clamp. So here's my string. On this side over here, you can just put the string right around the whole kit and caboodle like that. But on this side, it's best if you thread the string through right here. Because if you don't, it tends to show a little bit worse on the bottom. So you put it through like that. Now I haven't measured across the front and back yet, because I know from doing this that I have to do this basically 4 times. And so I'm just going for it right now. But I'll do it anyways for you guys. See, that's measuring 12¼ inches, and back here it's measuring only 11. They have to be a lot closer to being equal. So here you go, under, inside of this one. Through that spot right there. But notice how I'm keeping this bundle of stuff very neat. I don't want it all twisted up and knots and stuff in it. And this fiber rush that I've been getting from American Twisting has been the best that I've ever had. And I hardly ever have to add twist to it. I have had fiber rush before that you reel off a hank of it like that, and as you're going along like I'm doing now, you know, up and down passing that through, you'll see that the fiber rush doesn't look like it's twisted tight enough. And so what you have to do is you have to spin that around a little bit and add twist to it. This stuff here from American Twisting, I hardly ever have to add any twist. Okay, so I'm back over here now. I'm around there, I'm around this string. Putting this in. Okay, now I'm going around again. See, right now, if this looked real loose, if this twist looked real loose, I could just spin that around and add twist to it. But this stuff here is good. I hardly ever have to do that. I'll try to get out my address and phone number and stuff for American Twisting for the next video. But I can tell you right now that the last time I ordered, or every time I've ordered from them, they have $100 minimum. Or at least that's what it used to be. And so that basically is 2 big reels, I think they call them reels of stuff. It's a big spool that weighs like 40 pounds. You know, they don't sell just by the seat. You got to buy a whole reel. And like I say, you got to buy 2 reels to get to the $100 minimum. I don't know how many chairs that's worth of, but anyways, that's how I buy it. Alright, we're getting kind of on the long side of the time. So I'm going to stop that right there, and I'm going to show you the block of wood. I told you I was going to use a block of wood. And the block of wood is to keep these things pulled up tight. Anyways, you can, let's see, I hold this with my knee and pull it like that. And then a lot of times I just do like that. Just kind of hammer that. But you have to keep up with this as you go. Every couple of 2 or 3 rounds that you make, you got to make sure that these are parallel. Because if you don't, after a while they'll get in like that and it doesn't work out right. So anyways, that's the basic beginning of this system. And you have to, like I say, on this particular chair, I have to go backwards across the front 4 times until they're even, and then I start going round and round. And like I say, I'm going to be back and show you the middle of the chair, and that'll be some of just weaving, and that's when I'm going to put in the stuffing. You put stuffing in here to puff this up a little bit and even it out. And I'll be back on the next video with that. So I hope you're having a good day out there. I'm having a good day. And I'm going to weave a little bit more on this seat. But this video is long enough right now. See you another time.